What is the worst thing a teacher has ever done to enforce their own twisted rules? I was sitting in app chemistry when the cold sweat suddenly hit the back of my neck. My blood sugar had been perfectly stable for 6 weeks, but I instantly recognized the terrifying drop. Mr. Fletcher, I need my medical bag, I whispered, feeling dangerous tremors in my hands. My glucose is crashing. The substitute crossed his arms. Give me a break. Every teenager suddenly has a dietary restriction during midterms. It's an excuse. No, you aren't listening. The shaking moved into my legs. I had 3 minutes before my brain started shutting down. I have a federally mandated 504 plan. I need sugar. He towered over my lab station. My brother's son claimed to have a sugar deficiency. He cut out junk food. Within a month, magically cured. Zoe lunged toward the teacher's desk where our backpacks were confiscated. She has type 1 diabetes. She'll go into a coma. Mr. Fletcher shoved her back. The only thing crashing is her unpreparedness. Then he did something completely psychotic. He walked to the heavy oak classroom door, turned the deadbolt, and slipped the brass key into his pocket. Nobody leaves until the bell rings at 10:15 a.m. This culture of victimhood ends today. Call the nurse. Someone yelled. Phone's out. You failed the semester. Fletcher snapped, grabbing a heavy wooden hall pass like a weapon. My vision started tunneling. 3 minutes. That's all I had. Then my absolute nightmare of an ex-friend, Brianna, chimed in. She always uses her diabetes to avoid tests. Mr. Fletcher smirked. See? Even her peers know she's faking. He walked to the environmental controls. You know what helps test anxiety? Sweating it out. He cranked the industrial lab heater to 90 degrees. If you were truly sick, the heat wouldn't matter. Since you're acting, the room became an oven. The oppressive heat accelerated my metabolic collapse. My brain felt like wet cement. Zoe screamed, turn it down. The heat drops her blood sugar faster. Fletcher sat at his desk. Psychosomatic response. She believes she's dying, so she acts like it. Nate started clutching his chest. He had a severe panic disorder, and being locked in a sweltering room triggered a massive attack. I can't breathe. The door. Kyle tried sliding glucose gel across the floor, but Fletcher stepped on it, bursting the package. Sit down or you're suspended. Fletcher laughed. Through the narrow door window, a janitor walked past. Fletcher stepped perfectly in front of the glass, blocking the man's view of our hostage situation, and waved. The janitor kept walking. This is kidnapping. Zoe shrieked. 1 minute left. The hypoglycemia hit rock bottom. Zoe told me later my eyes rolled back and I slumped off the stool, slamming my skull against the soapstone counter. I started convulsing violently, my body pulling stored energy from muscles. She's dying. Zoe sobbed, kneeling to hold my head. Fletcher adjusted his glasses. Impressive commitment. The head injury is a nice touch. That's when Devin snapped. The quiet, straight-A student walked to the back of the room and ripped the emergency chemical shower handle off the wall. Freezing water violently blasted across the classroom, flooding the electrical outlets. Vandalism. Fletcher shrieked. That's a $10,000 fine. You're going to juvenile detention. Devin grabbed a cast iron ring stand and swung it like a baseball bat at the door's reinforced window. The glass exploded into the hallway. My boyfriend Kai heard the shatter. He saw me seizing on the flooded floor, shoved his arm through the jagged hole, sliced his bicep open, and unlocked the deadbolt. Fletcher lunged at him, but Kyle and Devin tackled the teacher into a lab table. The door ripped open. The school nurse sprinted inside and jammed a glucagon pen through my jeans into my thigh. I was at 18 mg HDL. Paramedics later said I was 4 minutes from permanent brain damage. Fletcher was escorted off the property, screaming we orchestrated a riot. Fast forward 3 weeks. We were sitting in homeroom. The school board decided to bury the incident to protect their funding. Fletcher threatened to sue the district for physical assault. The district secretly settled with him for $85,000 and gave him a quiet resignation. Meanwhile, Devin was expelled and slapped with felony property destruction charges for the window and flooded lab. His mother was forced to take a predatory loan just to keep him out of jail. That was the exact moment I realized the truth. The administration rewarded a monster and ruined a hero. I looked at Kai's bandaged arm, and I knew we had to tear the school board down ourselves. Full story on the channel, link below.